Hi, today I'm going to show you how to take a boxwood tree and make it into this beautiful creation. Now we have 3 different ribbon techniques that I'm going to show you today: the ribbon curl, the ribbon tuck, and the present wrap. So stay tuned. All right, let's get started on your tree. So first I'm going to show you how to put lights on this tree. So you want to take a set of 50 lights, plug it in. I always put the lights on the trees plugged in because it's easier for me to see the arrangement of the bulbs. Now what I'm going to do is take one of my wired picks and I'm going to wrap the wire around the cord. And this is so I can control where I put the lights in the tree. That way it doesn't unwind if I move the tree. And how do I know this? Because that has happened to me. When I've moved my tree, the lights have come unwound. So I always look at the face of my pot. I know this is the face, there's a design down there, and I always put the pick at the back. If you look on this metal tin, I've got a seam, so I would put it in the seam. Here, I'm going to put it in the back. I use that pick to keep it there. And then I stretch and I slowly wind and wiggle. Wind and wiggle. Okay, so I want to get the lights kind of staggered in there so that there's a little bit of depth to my tree. I stretch them a little. But I don't want it too tight that it suffocates the size of my tree. And I'm going to take a pick, a wired pick, for the end of my lights, wrap it around again for the same reason so that it doesn't come undone. And I'm going to pick it in there. Okay. So I'm going to show you now some ribbon techniques and design techniques to start your arrangements. Rule of thumb, if you're putting lights in, always, always, always put it in before your decorations. All right, now I'm going to show you how to decorate. So let's see. First, we are going to do the ribbon curl technique. So I have a bow already made. I'm going to put this at the top of my tree. Now, sometimes when you make your tree have a little peak at the top, you can pick that off and you want to nestle your bow in that area. Okay, so then I take my ribbon and I'm going to cut off a section of ribbon. I like to cut it at an angle. Okay, we're going to need 3 of these. So go ahead and cut 3. They don't have to be perfectly exact. Again, I cut an angle. And then I'm going to take my wired pick. I'm going to find the blunt edge. I take my wire pick, put the wood part, wrap the ribbon around that, and then I tightly wrap the wire around the ribbon and the wood, catching it all. Okay? And I want this tight so it doesn't come undone when I'm working with my ribbon. Then I take the ribbon and I'm going to roll it like I'm rolling curls in my hair. You can roll it on your finger, but you're loosely rolling it upon itself. Doesn't have to be really tight, but you want to roll it on itself. Slowly grab the inner edge and draw it out from itself. Because this is wired ribbon is great. You can move it, it's very malleable. And I will take this and I'm going to put this in my tree. I want to put the wire pick right at the center of the bow so it looks like it's coming from that bow. I'm going to do this 3 times. We do this in the shape of a Y. So when I look at the top of my tree, I'm making the letter Y. So I'm going to do this 3 times total. You can trim them. They don't have to be this long, but rolling, Slowly pull. I can angle it whatever way I like. I'm going to put this one in the back. And I'm going to do one more. Find the blunt edge. Pick, wrap, nice and tight. This one I made a little long, but I can always trim it if I want. Good, rolling it. Slowly pull it. And I'm going to put this in at the top. I think that one's a little long. Just going to give it a little trim. And that is the ribbon curl. And you can keep these really tight. If you like those real tight curls, you can loosen them up. Okay, I'm going to unplug this one, and we're going to switch to our blue. Now, I haven't put lights on this, but I'm going to show you how we decorate this one. I'm going to use the present wrap technique for this one. So, I take my ribbon, I'm going to put it at the top, angle the loops through my tree. Now, I want this to look like I've wrapped a present with ribbon. So this time I'm going to make an X shape. So we made a Y for this one. This one's going to be an X. Now I'm going to do this in 4 separate strips of ribbon. I'm going to put a pick in here, pick at the top. That way it's perfectly put in the way I want it. So that's the secret of a lot of florists. We use picks, tools to make our work look perfect. So I'm keeping my length of ribbon attached. I'm taking one end. So this one I'm not pre-cutting. The curl's easy to pre-cut. This one you don't want to pre-cut from your full length. So I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to wrap my ribbon with wire on the pick. And then I'm going to find a spot. I'm going to put that ribbon in. And I measure it down loosely. I don't want it too tight. It's going to make my tree feel really tight and stiff. But I loosely measure it to the lip of the pot with my finger. Then I cut. Take another pick. Wrap it around. I'm going to measure back. And I'm going to put that right in, okay? Now I have to do it exactly on the opposite side so it looks like that ribbon was carried through. So I'm going to do that same process again. Keep it attached. I'm going to look from the top, poke it right at the center of your bow. You want to make sure you get it in the right spot. Good. I'm going to measure it down with my hands to the lip of the pot. Then I cut it. I'm going to turn just so I can see my work better. Don't worry if you mess your ribbon up to see where you're working. You can always work around that. So it looks like I took ribbon from here and wrapped it like that. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Same process. So in total, I've done 4 ribbon techniques on there, 4 ribbon methods. So I'm going to do this from the front so you can see. Aiming for the center, measuring down to the pot, cutting my ribbon, wrapping it with wire, putting it in the tree. Okay. Now I've got to do the back of this. And again, I'm checking from the top to make my X. Center of the bow. Checking it from the top, measuring to the bottom. Grab a pick. And there, I will check all sides to make sure I like the ribbon. And again, wired ribbon can be moved around. If you use something that doesn't have wire, like a satin, it will not set as well, so you're stuck with the natural drape that the ribbon has. But again, wired ribbon is very forgiving and I can work with this. Okay, last but not least, the most challenging ribbon technique of all is called the tuck. The ribbon tuck. Sorry, I moved that one in. Okay. So the ribbon tuck is done in 3 pieces. Now I'm going to show you, I'm finding the seam of my pot, I'm going to show you this in 2 different ways. Let's see. So this technique can be used with a bow top, or if you are doing something like a star, I have a bird, I have a star. If I want to do a star tree topper, we're going to use a bird. Okay, so I put my bird, I'm going to check this in the front. Now, whenever you do a bird or a star, you want your top to look perfect. So I have one stem, maybe not the way I like it, so I just pick them off. So I'm happy with this. Now, I'm going to do this more of a natural design, so I've chosen this ribbon. And the way the tuck works is I'm going to be putting the ribbon in the back, wrapping it around, tucking it here with a pick, wrapping it and tucking it down on the bottom. Now, because you're doing the tuck, it actually uses quite a bit of ribbon as it drapes. So you're going to do it in a Y shape. So you're going to have 3 spots, as opposed to the present wrap is 4, the curls are 3, the tuck is 3. If you do 4, it gets too busy and most of your tree is ribbon. So we're going to do 3 of these. Don't cut your ribbon. Don't pre-cut your ribbon. The only one you pre-cut is on the ribbon curl. Same technique, wooden pick, wrap the wire around. Now we're still aiming for the center of the top of the tree, but this time we're kind of coming in the back because I want this to look like it magically appeared. So sometimes this just takes a little finesse. Okay, so I'm going to just take a peek at this. Perfect. My first drape is going to be here. So I'm going to take another wire pick. I told you, secret of the florist. I'm going to gather the center of the ribbon. Don't worry about how you gather it. Just make sure you get the ribbon wrapped around your wired pick. Okay. And make sure if you're using a wired ribbon that has a single face on this, that you're not picking it in upside down. So I'm going to poke that right in there. Now, I'm not putting it in so deep that it gets swallowed up by the tree. I'm keeping it a little loose so it'll have a nice drape. And again, we learned on the present wrap that you're going to tuck it at the bottom here. So I checked it to the bottom of the lip. I'm going to trim it, grab my wire, wrap it around. Now again, this looks nice if this were a bow. I'm going to take a different bow that I have. but that looks nice with a bow top, but it also looks nice when you really want to let the bird shine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this and show you how it's done. So I'm always looking from the top, and you always want to move your tree around and look at it. So I'm going to go in right about here. I want my drape to fall about there. My ribbon's very forgiving, so that's where I'm planting my drape. Wrap it around. Again, not pre-cutting. Wrap it around. Putting it in, measuring it at the bottom. Then I cut it. Another pick. I should have bought stock in picks because I use thousands of these each season. All the bows, all the ornaments, the birds, they're all on picks, wired picks. Who knew? I wish it was a stock tip. Instead, it's just a floral tip. So I'm going to go ahead and find my last drape. So here's my blank spot here that I have to cover. So I'm going to decide where my last spot goes in. Okay. I'm choosing my drape to be there. Perfect. Oh, I almost cut it. Don't cut it. Don't cut it. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm going to look at the front of this so I can see. Measure it to the bottom of the pot. And there you have the ribbon tuck. And again, you know, you have options. You can do curls with a bird topper. You can do anything you want. There really is no rule, but these are just some suggestions. Now I'm going to show you how to. So just, I want to recap. 4 sections on a present wrap, so it looks like your present's wrapped. Again, you can move them around if you want. 3, the shape of a Y with the curls. 3 with the ribbon tuck. Now that I've got my ribbon on, I have my lights on, I'm going to go ahead and decorate my tree. So the first thing I like to do is, again, put your lights on, put your ribbon in, and then I'd like to take my selection of different ornaments. I've chosen these colors, the traditional reds, golds, and greens, and I'm going to pick these because they'll stay in there much firmer than if I didn't. So each one has a little loop. I'm going to put my wire through the hole. Then I hold the loop against the wood like that, and I tightly wrap the wire. It helps if you make little X's. That will help it stay sturdy on there. Now, when I do this, I'm able to put it in nice and straight. You don't want to put it in too deep. You want it right on the surface of the tree. That way it's not buried in there. So I'm going to go ahead and wire all these, and I'll put them in my tree. Now, every once in a while, you get an ornament that is not really, I don't want to look at that part. I want to look at this part. So this time I'm going to hold my ornament differently. Instead of straight up and down, I'm going to take the loop and put it over the wood. I'm going to wrap it around that part So instead of straight up and down, it's now like that. Now this way, I can put it in, let's see, let's put it over here, away from the other red one. I can put it in at a bit of an angle. That way I see more of the decorative gold as opposed to the bottom of the ornament. Now if I see the top, I can just take my greens, move it a little bit to hide it, okay? Or reposition it so it's in a little deeper. Okay, so I'm going to wire these up. And then put them in. Now, when I put ornaments in, I don't want two on the same level because that'll look like eyes looking at me. So I'm going to put this one up a little bit higher. So I like to get a lot of rhythm in. So I almost like make a zigzag pattern through. Now, if you get a bunch of ornaments, you don't have to put them all in. And it is easier if you look at the front of it. I, of course, am trying to show you, so I'm just going to turn. We're going to put a gold one down the bottom here because that'll really pick up the light. And I personally just, unless I'm doing a monochromatic tree, I don't want to put a gold one so close to a gold one, so I'm going to find a spot maybe over here. Okay. I'm going to use this pretty green one. Look at this cute little ornament. So again, don't want to look at the bottom. I'm going to put the circle through the wood and then wrap on that. And then I'm going to put this one probably right there so I can see that shine. So cute. Okay. Oh, got to use this one. This one's cute. And I always tell my students, make sure you always turn your work. Never work in one space for too long. So turn your work, even with the lights attached, turn your work. We're going to fit this one in. Where are we going to put it? Let's see. I'll throw it in down there. Okay. So next, I'm going to put in, I've got hydrangea today, and this I want to fill in those spaces with pops of red. I'm going to put one down here. Okay, we'll put one here. I really want the green to kind of pop, so the red will be a nice backdrop for that. Okay, let's see, we'll throw that in there. All right, so I'd have one that I'm not going to use. You don't have to put them all in. I have some nice glitter red picks here. Let's see, we want a nice red one there. Let's see, I want one kind of here at an angle. Let's put one up towards the top for fun. Okay, I've got a couple more. We can stick it in. I'm gonna not put that last one in. And then I have a couple red berries. Now what I like to do is I like texture. So I like the round balls. I like the sparkle and the texture of those picks. I like the hydrangea because it really draws your eye in on the tree, and berries just scream Christmas to me. But I want to make sure that I'm spreading out this red color throughout my tree. So I'm going to take a look. We'll put a berry here. Let's see, maybe one here. Down here. And I don't feel like I need a lot because I have a lot of red drawing through there, but I really like this one because you have the red on the snowflakes. You've got the red here, but it really makes your green and gold pop a lot. And there you have it. All right, I'll go through and decorate.